Twitch is a platform that's no stranger to evolution, and I think we've entered into a new phase in this blossoming butterfly of a streaming service. Now, I know for a lot of people, Twitch is mainly like a gaming platform, but it's gone through so many different changes that it's more than that now. There's huge events that are hosted there, really high-quality productions, IRL streams. A lot of different content is on Twitch these days, and when you think of Twitch now, the first thing you think of isn't always going to be gaming, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to drag you kicking and screaming into the future, because a pioneer has just arisen to really showcase the power of technology. Behold, true gaming in its purest form. This is what streaming is all about. Now, the censoring on her butthole was done by me. I felt I had to, just to make sure that this video would be safe to be uploaded, but make no mistake, while live, it was not censored at all. This was the director's cut. Full-blown poop shoot action, barely covered by, like, the tiniest string of fabric. So last night while I was streaming, chat was telling me that I should check out her stream because they wanted my opinion on if it was breaking Twitch terms of service, like I'm some kind of fucking hall monitor for Twitch. And it just piqued my curiosity, so I checked it out. Her name is Strawberry Tabby, and she was one of the most popular streamers last night while I was on. She was playing Valorant at the time, but she had been live for 5 hours streaming. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that this was the setup. So there's the torso cam for, like, the titties, like, so it's mainly, like, honkers and a very tight bikini, and then a totally separate camera just for butthole. A pure ass cam. And then, like, a very tiny box for gameplay. Now, when I was made aware of this, I was joking about it, and at some point during the stream, she went on, like, a phone call for a brief moment, and then came back with a changed set of bottoms. So it seems like she must have got a call from someone at Twitch letting her know that her previous garments weren't acceptable. So she changed into this, yet kept everything else exactly the same, and you can still, of course, see, like, butthole, anus folds and everything. Like, it's still, like, you can still see all of it, but there's a little bit more covering towards the crack, like the ass crack top of it. And I couldn't help but just laugh. For a while now, there's been this arms race on Twitch with sexual content where creators have found that it makes a lot of money to do sexual content on Twitch and it builds a huge audience, so they're constantly trying to push boundaries for what Twitch will allow. And Twitch just doesn't crack down hard on it themselves. Like, the most you'll ever see a creator get banned for these type of streams is like 3 days. There was a creator who fully goatsied herself bare ass on stream and she got a 3-day ban. There was another streamer who just fully had sex on stream and only got a 3-day ban. So there's no real risk associated with trying this, and you stand to gain a lot of money from it. So it's not like I'm even mad at her or anything. It's really a don't hate the player, hate the game situation, because Twitch doesn't really do much about it, thus it must be okay with their policies. But anyway, I just wanted to show you some of the clips from last night where I was going through this in real time, and just to give you an update on where things are at this morning, she received a ban, which I'm not taking responsibility for. It's not my fault. That you can't blame me, Coomers. I know there's a lot of angry gooners that think I was the reason she got banned, but I am innocent in this. I, like all of you, was just watching the content, and that was it. I didn't report her or anything. Oh my god. Okay, there's one guy in the chat, and he keeps saying, have you seen, I won't say the streamer's name, stream. She's got her whole ass out, and I was like, there's no way. So I go to the stream, and she's playing Valorant in this really tiny box. She has 2 camera angles, one on her, like, torso in, like, a really tiny string bikini, and one on her backside that's focused on her asshole. It's like a colonoscopy cam where she's wearing, like, a very, very tiny thong. And then the Valorant gameplay is, like, right up here on her back, very tiny. That is so aggressive. And I'm reading the chat, there's just one guy in all caps saying, fix the camera. Because I'm guessing what happened is it tilted a little bit up from her ass crack. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. She's fixing it. Obviously, I'm not gonna fucking pull this up on stream. This seems a little much even for Twitch. This is absolutely wild. Like, when she moves, you can literally see, like, her anus creases. Like, she has 6,600 viewers. She's a very popular streamer. I've definitely seen her name before. Oiled Up, too. Yeah, Oiled Up as well. It's not worth the risk. It is absolutely one wrong move and her whole butthole flies out. It's just not worth the risk for me to pull it up. Okay, you know what, it's worth the risk. I'm gonna try, because there's like this weird toy hammer that goes on her stream if you move your mouse over it. Okay, it's on Twitch. Surely it's okay, right? You would think. Here, we're gonna go like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna crop like that. And then, let me see if I can get my censoring in position. This is so, I can't, there's no way I make that work. And she's moving right now, like her, there's no way I make that work. But I mean, it's literally one of the biggest streams on Twitch right now, so it's gotta be okay with their rules. What does the hammer do, Charlie? I don't know, but that's why I thought I could maybe censor it with the hammer, but it just doesn't work. We're gooning together. Okay, you need help, brother. I'm in there for the Valorant gameplay. Yeah, you and me both. That's why we're all there. No, I mean, good for her. If Twitch is okay with it, fucking let the hustle ride. But every time she moves her ass closer to the camera, it legitimately feels like we're about to do a deep dive colon cam. It is incredibly close range. I can see hair follicles. It's like looking at her ass through a microscope. So it's a high quality asshole cam. It's 8K. She's definitely got a black magic cam just for her ass. Like if she gets goosebumps, you'll be able to see each individual one. She's filming her ass with an IMAX camera. Yeah, she's making it so it's compatible with the big screen. She's using the same technology they used to film Oppenheimer. Is she good at the game? I don't know. I wasn't looking at the gameplay. I have no clue. I haven't the foggiest. I can actually see her asshole, like her actual asshole. Like legit, no, like it's not even covered anymore. I can see each fold. And there's one guy, that guy in the chat, I think it's the same guy who was like, fix your cam. I just saw him celebrate. He said, come on, fudge. I don't know what that means, but he's excited, so I'm excited for him. I censored, do you want to... Yeah, thank you, Edgar. Can you send me the censor so that way I can at least pull up what it looks like? That's a good idea. I didn't even think to screenshot it. Yeah, send me the censored screenshot. This is... I think we just witnessed the birth of the new meta here. You got a big moment there. A highlight reel. But yeah, this is the setup. This is the new wave. That Valorant 2.0. Is this okay to show? I mean, it was censored, and it's one of the biggest streams on Twitch, and she's been a big streamer for a long time, so I'm guessing it's fine. I hope. Imagine I'm the one who gets in trouble. Moist Critical, we found you were in violation of Twitch's nudity policy. For that, you'll be receiving a 30-day suspension. Camera is so clear, we'll actually see her farts. That's what I was saying, like, that camera is unreal. Like, she legitimately might be using a black magic for that. You would actually see the fart fumes come out. Like a cartoon. Hats off to the gooner who blew the lid on that operation, because that was fascinating. And she still has, like, the kiddie pool in the background, so that way she plays by the pools and hot tubs rule. It's a Walmart flamingo kiddie pool. She got up and left, so I'm guessing, like, one of her Twitch contacts told her that it was a little much after 5 hours worth. Interesting timing on that. You made her change clothes. Oh, fuck, that one guy who was talking about here comes the fudge and fix the cam in all caps is gonna be livid. He had his whole night ruined. The hog was not fully squeezed and that man is going to be inconsolable. Why do you have resubscribe? Because someone gifted me a sub. You just created your own version of the Joker. Yeah, that one desperate coomer. Damn. How dare you? But also, there's no reason to go into DEF CON, by the way, Gooners. The panic was unwarranted. All she did was change into a different, lower bikini bottom. So instead of having, like, a small piece of paper there stuck in her ass cheeks, she's now got, like, a normal bikini that she's wedgied herself with. So, it's not all bad. He'll probably still enjoy it. I know I'm looking more disheveled than usual today, very raggedy. I look like I just crawled out of Jumanji and I'm wondering what year it is. But before I take a shower, I think it's important that I address something because yesterday, my Twitter mentions were set ablaze. I was nonstop flooded with demands to speak on a new potential Twitch meta that was beginning to blossom. Feast your eyes on the glory of gaming. And when this was floating around Twitter, I was like the Powerpuff Girls and Twitter was the mayor. They wouldn't stop ringing my hotline trying to alert me to this like it was some kind of emergency that I needed to speak on. So 5 days ago I made a video called Twitch is Evolving. Fun fact, you actually can't find that video just by searching for it because it was too risque for YouTube, I suppose, so it no longer shows up in any search algorithms. You can only find it by going directly to my channel. And the video was just me talking and goofing about a stream that I was made aware of while I was live. That a streamer was basically just showing their whole brown balloon knot with a little bit of Valorant gameplay, and I was in disbelief, so I went to check it out to confirm this, and turns out that myth was not busted. It was just a bunch of fucking nuts in there that were. It was a very sexual stream by design, and I made a video just kind of talking about it because it was super silly. And also, it turns out that the streamer I was focusing on in that video, her name is Strawberry Tabby, may not have actually been the creator of this. I got this tweet the following day from a streamer named Asian Bunny, who said that she was actually the one that created not only this meta that I was talking about with like the butthole camera and all of that, but also the previous topless meta. So it seems Asian Bunny may actually be the innovator, nay, the Imagineer behind some of these like very sexual Twitch metas. But anyway, I think it's important context before getting into like the recent thing we're going to talk about to explain why I'm being alerted to all of this now. So that video, Twitch is Evolving, to summarize what it was without showing you, because apparently that's frowned upon on YouTube to showcase that, even though it was fine for Twitch. She had a dual cam setup, one where it was her in like the smallest bikini mankind has ever dreamed up. It makes hentai and anime games look weak in comparison to the reality here. She had like the smallest bikini ever for her top, and she had that cam on the left, basically like Honker's Jumbotron on the left, and on the right, she came up with something the world has never seen before. It was basically a colonoscopy cam. So she had her ass pushed in front of an iPhone, which I didn't even know was an iPhone at the time. I legitimately thought it was like a Blackmagic 8K camera. Like that shit was ready for IMAX. And again, with like the tightest string bikini ever that was wedging her ass crack. That fabric was fighting for its life down there, straddling the hole. And it wasn't really covering it, so you could still see, like, her entire anus in the stream. And I was just joking about that because this has been a huge thing on Twitch for a long time, to constantly be pushing the envelope of what kind of sexual content they'll allow. And it seemed like that had the green light because she'd been streaming for like 5-something hours, one of the biggest streamers at the time. She had like Valorant gameplay in the tiniest box ever. Like if you were trying to watch the Valorant gameplay, you would have needed binoculars in order to see it from her stream. And I was just laughing and goofing about that whole situation because again, it doesn't seem like Twitch really gives a fuck all that much when it comes to these policies. Though she did eventually catch a ban for it. I take no responsibility. That is not my fault. That must have been some shadow government at play working behind the scenes. I was just there, it's just having a giggle at what I was seeing. But anyway, since I posted that video, I've kind of become like the butt patrol of Twitch now. So anytime there's a streamer doing something sexual, people like to tell me about it. I don't know why. I'm not the ass police. I was just laughing at that one stream in particular. That's really about it. Though it seems that I have been pigeonholed into this role now, so I'll go ahead and talk about this because I'm still inundated with requests to do so. So let's go over the new Twitch meta here that's risen from the ashes of Butthole Cam. This time, it's a streamer whom we've talked about before, Morgp, who is putting gameplay on her cheeks.
I'm rusty. And with a little rusties. Yo, playing Fortnite, yes indeed. And the same amount of luck, you two can look like me. Ka-chow. What? There was an invisible force field. What is this? I already have that. I'm just up in this biz. There are people fighting outside. I don't give a fuck. Bro, I need to potion up. Sheesh. Ka-chow. I am in no position to be.
In a fascinating twist of fate, this happens to be like the least nude sexual meta I've seen develop on Twitch. Like, she's fully covered. Her tuchus is just a green screen for gameplay, so you can't even really see her rump or anything. And she's also wearing like an actual top, too. So this is like the least sexual I've seen one of these metas get. Of course, watching Fortnite gameplay in keister shape isn't conducive to the best viewing experience. Like, it's definitely not optimal for high-quality gameplay presentation. But there is gameplay there and significantly less nudity, it seems. Though, I will say, like, one of those donation goals at the top there was Creamy Treat. I don't exactly know what that would look like here. I haven't seen a clip of it, so I don't really know what it's referring to. Since the focal point of this stream is on her ass gameplay, is she gonna, like, shit herself or something? Like, you donate for the Creamy Treat and she poops, and then, like, the green screen pants, like, inflate a little bit? I don't know. I can't really figure out what that means. It's probably some kind of, like, bait and switch type thing. Creamy Treat, you donate, and then she, like, eats a piece of food suggestively, perhaps? I have no idea. The other one's jumping jacks. That one's pretty self-explanatory, I imagine. Though it's going to be, like, really disorienting watching Fortnite gameplay on a moving, jiggling pair of butt cheeks. But that one, at least, I understand what that would look like. The Creamy Treat, though, I'm at a loss. I have no clue. So, yeah. I don't have a lot of strong thoughts on this new Twitch meta here. It definitely is the most clothed I've seen in a while for one of these metas. So that's going in a good direction, I would think, right? I actually imagine she probably won't get banned for this one. I don't know how many times she's been banned. It's a lot, but this might actually be one that's safe by the Twitch policy. Though you have to wonder, how do the hog squeezers feel about it? Because this is more closed than they're used to for a sexual meta that's developed. And I can't see the chat replay when I went back to watch it. I don't know if it's just Twitch mobile not really functioning properly like usual or what, but I can't see their response. When we covered the last one with Strawberry Tabby and the Butthole Cam, which sounds like the title to a Harry Potter book, we were able to see the chat and them celebrate each and every gyration she made every time she adjusted her seating position. There were people in the chat going crazy. Yeah! Whoa, come on, Fudge! Whoa! So it was like the Super Bowl of butt for them. This one, you don't really get any of that. You're getting Fortnite, where there was once ass. So maybe they're disappointed in it and it won't take off as like the next successful sexual Twitch meta or anything, but who really knows? I'm not an expert on this, contrary to popular belief. But yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. There's a couple of unwritten rules when it comes to cruising the cyberspace. The first is always have an ad blocker installed. Hey Kata. She heard the word ad blocker and she was coming in here to let you all know how important it is. I don't know what kind of monster could actually enjoy the modern internet without an ad block. It's just a miserable experience, a giant headache. But the second unwritten rule that not as many people talk about is never go on Twitch without being logged in. It's scary. Twitch has this tendency to recommend the most odd streams to you, like streams that'll have like 3 or 4 viewers. Whenever I'm not logged in, I get recommended the weirdest channels I've ever seen. It's kind of like that whole trend back on YouTube, don't FaceTime Freddy Fazbear at 3 AM, he came to visit. That's like Twitch when you're not logged in. Except you're always visited by one streamer in particular. Her name is Taylor, and you may have heard of her before because a couple times over the last year people have talked about what she does there, because it's very weird. And anytime I make the mistake of being on Twitch without being logged in, hers is the first recommended channel for some reason, every time without fail, no matter like what computer I'm on. For some reason, Twitch is really fixated on recommending her channel, and it's not just to me. This is how so many people found her channel and started talking about it. So when I saw her name pop up, I recognized it and I got curious. This was like 3 months ago now. So 3 months ago, I clicked on her stream to see what the controversy was, like what does she do that makes people so upset? And what I found is pretty shocking.
Alright, so we're going... because they're not ready. Some people are ready, some people are not ready. Alright, so let's get this ball rocking and rolling. Alright, so let's go, guys. Let's go. You're not ready. You better be ready, guys. You better be ready. We have to be ready. I thought we were ready. I think it's time. It is time. It is more than past the time. Guys, literally it is past the time. We have to go. We have to do this.
She is a hot tub streamer. However, she is a very different kind of hot tub streamer, like the next evolution, like the final form, raid boss of hot tub streaming. It's actually more like an abstract idea of a hot tub streamer. It's very avant-garde. So she'll stream for like 4 or 5 hours, but she never actually shows herself. You only ever see her arm. She stands off to the side and for 4 hours will hype up the chat like, hey, it's time, alright, enough stalling, I know I was a little long in the setup today, but now it's time to get in the hot tub, so spam 1 if you're ready to see me get into the hot tub and do some squats, spam 1. And it's nothing but stalling endlessly. I guess the idea is to prolong blue balls from the horny chatters that just want to jerk off to the hot tub streamer, and she'll milk them for 4 hours, up to 6 hours. I think her world record so far, her personal best, is 6 hours of stalling, and then I think she usually comes on at the very end for about like 10 minutes or so before wrapping. It is baffling. Now, I'm not just trying to start a witch hunt here, and I don't want anyone to harass her. I just wanted to showcase this because I found it so odd and interesting.
Alright, so, type 1 if you guys are ready to move. Alright, we're gonna hit it and quit it. There are no ads. I mean, there was ads, guys. I can see it on my desktop. Alright, so, we want more ads, no more ads. You just have to hit it, guys. We just have to hit it. We just have to hit it. It is time to hit it and quit it, guys. It is time to hit it and quit it. So, it is time. Remember, Lane Calm 2023 is here. What a way.
This is footage I captured from right now. So she starts usually around like 9 a.m. EST and she'll go till like 2 p.m. without ever showing herself, apparently. It is incredible. I have a couple conspiracy theories I'll share in a moment, but you can see she's already been doing this for over 3.5 hours. It's such an interesting hustle that I don't fully understand. So my conspiracy theory is that it was pre-recorded. I think she does do some streams that have to be pre-recorded because there's just no way. And the minimal interaction with chat, as well as like some subs that she doesn't thank, makes me really feel like there is an element of pre-recorded video to this, which I'm not positive on. That's of course me just putting on the tinfoil hat and speculating. I just can't fully wrap my tiny little reptile brain around the concept of this, because she's making significantly less money from the people in chat than she would if she was just a normal hot tub streamer. This like baiting for 4 to 6 hours doesn't work out super well because people are constantly filtering in and out and getting upset at her. And there's not a whole lot of sub activity from it either. So it feels like it's just counterintuitive. It's almost like it's supposed to be a parody of hot tub streams, but it's lacking the self-awareness, and she, at the end of the day, is the one that's by far the most bored by standing there for 4 hours or so, saying the same things over and over again like an NPC with only a few dialogue choices. She's clearly always trying to fill as much time as possible, and that ends with her just repeating herself constantly. Now, she does have mods, which I was very curious about because are the mods in on it? Do they know? And what I was learning from watching this stream a bit today is that the mods do seem pretty self-aware with what's going on. So when she's like hyping everyone up like it's all getting, you know, it's all coming, everyone spam 1 and I'm about to fucking go hard, we're gonna get hog wild in here, we're jumping in this fucking hot tub, and I'm gonna be fucking squirting water out of my butthole, it's gonna get wild. The mods will play into it, but then the mods will like ask her a question to derail it. And then she'll spend like 15 minutes on that derailed question, like, oh, okay, enough talking about my birthday or whatever. Back to getting into this because it's time to start. We're already late. Time to start. So it feels like the mods, as well as Taylor, know what the play is here.
We got this, guys. All right, so we're gonna let it roar from the mountaintops. It is time to hit it and quit it. Type 1 in chat if you guys are ready to rumble. Type 1 in chat if you're ready to rumble. Type 1.
She just left for quite some time right here, which isn't uncommon. This is a very normal occurrence. This isn't like some kind of crazy phenomenon, like an anomaly that happened in the stream. She'll sometimes just get like way too bored, I guess, of like repeating herself. So she'll go out with a bang like it's the WWE. Like, alright, it's fucking go time. It's WrestleMania, brother. Type 1 in the chat if you're ready for the fucking stream. and then you'll hear her close the door behind herself, and then it's just silence for like 10 minutes, and then she'll come back and be like, alright, sorry guys, I had to get some water. It reminds me of that old shit on 4chan with Mr. Bones' Wild Ride, where it just never ends. Or that scene in The Fairly Odd Parents when Timmy Turner and his dad were on their way to a ride, but they're taking this long escalator, and Timmy says, when do we get to the ride? And the dad says, this is the ride. That's like her whole stream. And I guess it must work to some degree. Like, she is popular. I mean, 5,000 viewer average is very, very good. But I don't know if those are like actual viewers or people that just come in here for the spectacle of it and then leave. Because that feels like what it is. It's just people constantly coming in and leaving. It's just a really odd situation. But yeah, they're still going. She's up to like 4 hours, 15 minutes right now. So I'm just going to keep doing this video until she ends the stream, because I have to know how long she goes this time. Maybe I'm about to bear witness to her longest stall yet.
Alright, let it ring from the mountaintops. Yes, Nux, you know the drill. Let it ring from the mountaintops. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Let's get it rocking and rolling.
Yeah, it's still going. Pretty much the same as the first 4 hours, but I feel like we're entering into that final act here. One other thing I'd like to mention is she doesn't save her VODs, because I imagine she doesn't want people to go to the VODs and realize that this isn't unusual. This is the whole stream of just like hyping people up to get started without ever getting started. Which I suppose is smart, because she doesn't want to let people in on what's like actually happening here.
How many squats are about to go down? It's going down in the DM. Just joking, just joking. Alright, so everybody vote in chat, vote in chat, vote in chat. I'm only here for the chat, so.
We're now over the 4.5 hour mark, so we're reaching some pretty big milestones here. Now, she demonstrated one other thing she does a lot during her streams, which is running polls and stuff, and she'll do 10 minutes on the poll in order to fill an easy 10 minutes. So this one is how many squats should she do, and it's a 10-minute poll, which allows her to easily fill up another 10 minutes here.
Alright, we got this. Alright, so we're rocking and rolling. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Alright, so without further ado, everybody, without further ado, chat, without further ado.
We're approaching 5 hours here, and it's still rockin' and rollin' time. I cannot imagine how she actually gets through a whole stream doing this, because that just seems like true anguish. Repeating the same lines over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't let up at all. Now, a lot of people call her a scammer for this, and I guess like by the technical definition she is, but she's scamming you out of your time and attention, I guess, which could be worse than scamming you out of your money, I suppose. She doesn't make nearly as many subs as all of the other hot tub streamers do, at least not by the numbers that I can see. So I don't even really understand what the motivation is to continue doing these like countdown streams as opposed to just doing like a hot tub stream at this point. Because she used to do like body painting and stuff, but now it's mainly this, and she seemed to have found a lot more success with the body painting stuff, so I don't know what really drove her to doing these kind of streams.
And 0.0 0.009. Guys,
we've made it past the 5 hour mark now. She did a countdown, hitting 0 and then getting into the deep decimal places. It's getting huge. The excitement is really building.
Imagine standing my whole life. I mean, I imagine. I don't know what to say. All right, so we are hopping on.
We're over 5.5 hours now. I've just been grinding Slayer and RuneScape with this in the background, and it is unlike anything I've ever experienced. It's painful, but she's making a push for the world record here. I think it's gonna go to like 6 hours, 6.5 hours till she hops on stream for a couple minutes before ending. So I should be here for the world record run she's making right now.
So, howdy. Welcome to Jurassic Park, guys. So we are gonna get this ball.
5 hours and 55 minutes for her to make her first appearance here. That's wild. We just missed the world record here. She didn't quite break the 6-hour mark. But you want to know what's even wilder? Is she only stayed on stream for about like 6 or 7 minutes and then she left. And now it's just been this iPad here for like the last, I don't know, probably 8 or so minutes. Time is moving at such a weird pace right now with this fucking stream here. It's like purgatory. But yeah, now it's just an iPad and some music. I don't feel like sticking around super long to find out if this is the end of the stream. I have a sneaking suspicion it is. It just ends on the iPad and this music and she never comes back. This is just how she wraps it up. Just hopped in there for sub 10 minutes and said, alright, that's enough. Goodbye. What a fucking wild, weird stream channel. This is what she does daily, pretty much. Anytime I'm not logged in, her channel is recommended, and it's always this. I've just never bothered sticking around for more than like 2 seconds just to see if it's different. But today I wanted to see it till the very end, and it looks like I have. I'm not going to stay for another fucking hour of just watching this iPad here. Maybe my assumption is wrong and she does come back and do her squats that she said she'd do, or do anything that she says the stream is going to consist of. Maybe she comes back and fucking body paints. Who knows? I don't really want to stick around and find out. It's already been 6 goddamn hours. I've grinded so much in RuneScape, I want a break. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Just 1 short week ago, everything we thought we knew changed forever. It was like when Albert Einstein came up with the theory of relativity. It's all been shaken now. I still remember the glory days before August 29th, 2022, living in an ignorant bliss, naive to how corrupt Twitch had become with their enforcement of their own rules. That's right, August 29th is a date that will go down in infamy as the day that Twitch showed its true face and brought with it a catastrophe, a devastating Coombs Day, when a streamer got fucked live on Twitch and Twitch responded with the lightest ban of all time. I already talked about this in a video, but I wanted to follow up because they've decided to stick with their initial decision of a 7-day ban. So a week ago now, a streamer by the name of Kimika had sex live on Twitch, while an entire marching band clapped and cheered her on in the chat. It was about 100 concurrent viewers at the time. I don't know if the coitus actually reached its climax. I couldn't tell you because she got banned before anyone finished, except for some of the people in the chat, I'm sure. But overall, a very successful stream because normally she averages like 20 viewers, and this one, it was triple digits. So she got paid a visit by old Saint Nicholas, and it was broadcast live on Twitch, and she paid the iron price. She got banned. And you would expect that Twitch would crack down pretty hard on it, since this is their #1 golden rule that you can't bend and you cannot break. Streamers have been banned for months if they wore clothing that was too revealing. So having full-blown, cheek-clapping, ham-steaming sex on Twitch, you would expect there to be some pretty big consequences, a permanent ban. But that wasn't the case. Twitch decided to not even give like a slap on the wrist. They gave just a playful little tap on the tuchus. They gave her a 7-day ban. And now she's back to streaming, and her return stream has been her biggest stream ever, clocking in at 800 viewers at one point, blowing her previous numbers out of the water, and skyrocketing her follower count from 30 to right around 2K right now, 2 to 4K. For some reason, I'm getting mixed data. On Twitch, it shows 2K, but on some of the Twitch tracking sites, it shows 4K. But regardless, she's had a massively positive gain from this whole thing. Alright, thanks to Caleb and I doing some super sleuthing, we've cracked the case. The reason why there's a big follower discrepancy as well as peak viewership discrepancy is because she had 2 accounts. On one of her accounts, she broadcast the gland-to-gland combat, and this is the account that gained 4,000 followers. The account with 4K followers, she closed, but she did a comeback stream on there, and there is still some clip evidence of it. So here you can see her most viewed clips are from September 4th, the comeback stream, 27,000 views, which is significantly more than she was getting before the penis meets vagina incident. And she gained a lot from it. Not only on Twitch, but one of her socials gained 100,000 followers on there. So just an absolutely genius marketing strategy to just fuck on Twitch and just profit. And she closed this account, like I said, she threw it away like a crusty cum towel. However, she does have another account that's still active, and I'm imagining is the one she's going to be using going forward, and that's the account that's gained 2,000 followers, and it's also an affiliate because you can subscribe to it. I don't know if it was an affiliate pre-coitus or post-coitus, I'm really not sure. I can't imagine Twitch banned her and then rewarded her for having sex with an affiliate deal, but who knows? Twitch seems so mismanaged when it comes to their rules, it's baffling. But what I want to talk about is what this means going forward. Twitch has set a precedent with this. And it's not just this, there's been plenty of other examples, but this is by far their biggest because it was just blatantly having sex live on Twitch, which so far hasn't been done before outside of just rebroadcasting porn. This was a streamer having sex live, and Twitch's response was a very light ban. So what does this mean? This means that any streamer going forward might honestly consider this as an actual tactic for growth. This was only her 8th stream ever, I think. I was going through all of her previous broadcasts, and I'm pretty sure this was her 8th stream. She had only streamed, I think, 24 hours in total across her entire streaming career until she fucked. And once she did that, that's when she had all of this massive growth from it. Prior to this incident, she would get between 20 and 50 viewers per stream. After this incident, so far she's only had one stream, but she never dropped under like 150. So it was extremely successful. It really does feel like a viable strategy for Twitch, since it seems like they don't care that much about it. So if I was writing a WikiHow guide on gaining followers on Twitch, this would be on the list of best practices. Just full-blown fuck. Get your back blown out on Twitch and take a 7-day vacation, come back to more viewers, more money, more followers. It's like an actual life hack. Want to get Twitch famous and become a big live streamer? Just have sex on cam. You'll be shocked at how well it works. Doctors don't want you to know this one simple trick. It's really just pretty sad. There are people that have been banned for so long for such little things. Again, Gideon is still permanently banned for one instance of bad behavior on rating another streamer with mean words. And yet, somehow, the biggest possible sin you can commit on Twitch is only a 7-day ban and is nothing but rewarding for the streamer that did it. It's just crazy. Their priorities are so out of whack, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. I would love for them to explain how this constituted only a 7-day ban. And I do genuinely wonder if this will become a more popular trend after people see how successful this was for Kimika. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I was absolutely blown away. I was expecting Twitch to not unban her, just quietly make it a permaban instead of making a big song and dance out of it, but no, it seems like they're pretty adamant that having sex on their service is not that big of an issue. So, oh well, that's really about it. See ya. What's up everybody, it's Critical. I've been getting asked a ton over the last 5 or so months, or however long I've been streaming on YouTube, why I don't stream on Twitch. I do stream on Twitch occasionally with my friends, but I get asked why I don't solo stream on Twitch. So I figured I might as well make a video addressing that question. It's because I don't like Twitch. Now I know me saying that may be very disturbing to some of you. It probably elicits the same response as if you tell a child Santa Claus isn't real, nothing but shock and disgust. How can you not like Twitch? It's the best website on the internet with a staff that truly understands its users and looks out for their well-being. It takes us to school and packs our lunch. It really knows us and it wants us to do well in the world. Well, let me explain why I don't like Twitch, and please don't misinterpret this as me standing up for YouTube streaming. I have never, and probably never will, stand up for YouTube because they just don't know who the fuck is using their platform or how to make this website any better. It's like that uncle that buys you shit you don't want for Christmas and you don't know what to do with it except wipe your fucking ass with it. But when it comes to streaming, I think YouTube is the more fair streaming service. I do think Twitch is the superior platform though. It's a lot easier to find new content creators there. It's really easy to navigate the sections on Twitch and find all types of different shit. Whereas on YouTube, it's a very counterintuitive design. It's really hard to find new things. You have to pretty much fucking jack into the FBI mainframe, extrapolate a whole bunch of data, walk it through an ANOVA test and SPSS. All types of stupid fucking hoops you have to jump through to find anything. It's very poorly designed. But YouTube fucks everyone equally. In terms of streaming, in terms of content creation, YouTube just fucks everyone uniformly. Everyone gets the same amount of fuck. They're like a tidal wave of fucking. Nobody is safe if they're in that tidal wave. But on Twitch, it's like a geostorm contraption of fucking. It targets people to fuck that they don't agree with, whereas other people can just get a pass. They don't follow their own rules. YouTube has these rules, albeit very vague, but they adhere to them and they fuck everyone the same based on those rules, whereas Twitch has these rules and it doesn't fuck everyone the same. It favors the female streamers that show a lot of titties, camel toes, and ass. As I said, Twitch's motto, no camel toe, time to go. So if you go on to the mess that is the IRL section, it's predominantly dominated by female streamers pretty much flashing tits and doing squats for subs. Here's a good example. This is a streamer named Pink Sparkles. She even self-admits to being a titty streamer, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But Twitch's rules prohibit something like this. They explicitly say no overtly sexual behavior. If you're labeling yourself a titty streamer, doesn't that kind of indicate the nature of your content is overtly sexual? And that's all the content there is. She doesn't do anything. This whole stream was her just kind of wiggling around out of her seat, doing squats occasionally, and mainly just eating a fucking sandwich, while her chat room, which consists of very sad, lonely men and underage boys, were on the edge of their seat. Oh, come on, finish that sandwich for me, baby girl. Oh, I'm about to come right out of my nipples. Is that a squat? I see butt cheek. Holy shit, those are ass cheeks. And poopy leaves from the train station that's in the middle of the ass cheeks. This is incredible. To me, it's sad, but I don't really have a problem with the streams themselves. I don't think they're quality content or anything, but people are going to like different things, and that's something everyone has to accept. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is the Twitch staff when it comes to this. They have this rule. They should at least be commenting on it. If they truly believe that these aren't overtly sexual, they should explain why they're not. But they don't do that, and instead they'll go and ban male streamers who accidentally maybe slip up and show a picture of a boobie. Whereas these streamers a lot of times will have nip slips, show their whole pussy, and nothing happens to them. Which is odd because the Twitch staff is so ban hungry they ban people for almost no reason. There was a man that I watched who wore a tank top that accidentally showed his nipple on stream, and he was banned for an overtly sexual stream. Permanently banned for that. I also saw someone get banned because they got punched in the chest on stream. They didn't plan to get punched on the chest, but they got banned for self-harm because they put themselves in the way of that fist. That's like some Bushido samurai type shit for punishment. You didn't block the sword with your hand. Go into the punishment room and take 3 fingers off of your left hand now. Twitch plays favorites. They treat their site like it's fucking camsoda.com. And there's a lot of these streamers that show a lot of cleavage and just do very sexual streams to just get a lot of money out of the sad men watching them that have gone on stream and said they will never get banned because Twitch staff is basically in their pocket. Here's a clip from one of them.
Report stream. Balls. You know those reports go in the trash, right? Twitch staff told me so. Just saying. You're just wasting your time.
Thank you, Gal Gadoosh, for being honest with all of us here. This stream has a dedicated ass cam and vagina cam. I don't know how you could possibly defend this not being overly sexual. Even she seems to realize it is, but knows that there's not going to be any repercussions because Twitch staff likes her and they jerk off to her streams. I've mentioned Hassan before because he's the most famous example of the Twitch staff favoritism. His old following list was nothing but titty streamers for the most part, so I imagine he had like 8 different monitors, each with a different titty stream up, just taking it all in and enjoying his masturbatorium. All of this that I've said, I really wouldn't have a problem with if they would enforce the rules fairly. Just today, for example, a streamer by the name of Trainwrecks got banned for 5 days because he did some really dumb, stupid sounding speech that sounded like something you'd read on the r/incel subreddit. I'm assuming it was a joke, but it was still a really shitty joke. It was like some Braveheart shit. You can take our land, but you can't take our virginities, that we'll hold on to. And he also called out a streamer by the name of ST Peach. And the assumption is he got banned for calling her out because one of Twitch's rules is you can't really insult other streamers. It's against their rules. So he got banned, and I agree, he should have been banned. It was clearly against the rules. But ST Peach did the same thing. She started insulting Trainwreck's girlfriend and his relationship with his girlfriend and everything about Trainwrecks, and she didn't get banned. So clearly there's a discrepancy there where she's just above the rules because she's hot. And that's very clear. There's countless examples I could give, but I'm not going to go into more. I think I've ranted long enough, and I've made it very clear that Twitch staff plays favorites, and that many of the streamers are just above the rules. I don't want to be on a platform like that. I feel like it's a platform run by middle school children who've never seen boobies before. It's just a platform that has no fairness to it. And I'm not saying YouTube is the ideal pinnacle of fairness, because it's absolutely not. but at least YouTube isn't bending the knee to hot girls. Everyone is getting fucked all the same. And there's a certain comfort to that, because you know that you are not being singled out because they don't like you. You're getting fucked because they're fucking everybody. And that's why I prefer YouTube. It's at least a little bit more fair than Twitch. So hopefully that clears up why I don't stream on Twitch solo and prefer to do it here on YouTube. So yeah. Today a man named Eric sued Twitch for $25 million because he can't stop masturbating to the female streamers on the platform and blames Twitch for his dick always being rubbed raw. Yes, this is a real lawsuit. It was actually served to Twitch today, and it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, and I can't wait to take you through it all. It's all public, so you bet your sweet asshole we're diving in here real hot. I'm about to take you on a journey that not even Tolkien could do. This is an adventure that you're just not ready for, with a protagonist that has a lot more to him than meets the eye. Like all good fairy tales, let's go ahead and start with a little bit of background on our main character. The plaintiff has been a Twitch Prime and Turbo subscriber for years now, whom also suffers from depression, OCD, panic disorder, agoraphobia, and Crohn's disease. And because of these maladies, he heavily relies on the internet for all his entertainment purposes, as many others do during this difficult time. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many people have to stay home for entertainment and are quarantining themselves. Now, let me just say, I don't know if this was written by a real lawyer, because this honestly reads like it was written by him himself. Like, this seems like something I'd fucking read on Reddit. Caps locking, have to stay home for entertainment. You can really feel the bitterness in that statement right there. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, he's always on the computer, constantly using and watching Twitch. Mr. Estevillo suffers from sex addiction due to his obsessive-compulsive disorder that makes him obsessed with sex and compulsions. Twitch has extremely exacerbated his condition by displaying many sexually suggestive women streamers through Twitch's twisted programming and netcode, making it nearly impossible for the plaintiff to use Twitch without being exposed to such sexual suggestive content. Now, I don't know what kind of experience Eric is getting on Twitch, but when I go on there, I'm not getting, like, titties shoved down my throat or anything. I'm not seeing a bunch of streamers, you know, legs over their head, forceps in their vagina, spreading it apart for a big gape or anything, like Eric seems to be describing here. This man's describing Twitch like he's Professor Xavier using Cerebro, and he's jacking into Cerebro, and all he's seeing is a bunch of naked women and vagina and fat asses in front of him, and he can't help but jerk himself off. It's very easy to use Twitch without seeing any kind of sexual content at all. There is no way for the plaintiff to filter streams he'd like to watch based on gender, male or female. Therefore, the plaintiff has to choose a game and/or category to watch, with thumbnails showing these scantily clad women alongside men of being the only streaming channels available to him. He cannot filter out the women on the site. No viewer can. Twitch doesn't have a gender filter. This man is so unwell, he can't so much as see a woman in a thumbnail without masturbating himself to injury and physical pain. Now, he says he doesn't go outside, and that's probably for the best, because if he did, he might encounter a woman, and then what the fuck is he gonna do there? Just beat his meat till it's raw and destroyed? He'd give himself trench foot on his penis because his hand would be so goddamn sweaty, and then suggests a gender filter option, or says, you know, it's a bad thing that you can't filter out women on the site. That's so fucked up. That's like a dude that's starting keto for the first time who has to get rid of all the bread in his house because he might just lose control if he so much as sees some carbs around him. That's this guy with women. Do I even need to explain why having a way to filter out people based on gender is a bad fucking idea? Eric then taps into his personal spank bank folder on his old crusty computer here, releasing all kinds of photos that he's taken of the streamers during their streams, or photos that he's taken from their modeling shoots off the platform. I guess as a way to, like, try and show a judge, like, hey, look at this, look at all these good-looking women doing poses and shit. You know, I have to jerk off to this. You're probably jerking off to this too right now just from me showing you this montage. The plaintiff, who suffers from sexual addiction, has suffered much worse given that Twitch has exacerbated his condition. This is like the 20th time they mention sexual addiction. They talk about it like it's a fucking superpower for Eric here. The plaintiff's username on Twitch is the real Eric Estevillo, and he is following exactly 786 female streamers while following 0 male streamers, with that number continuing to grow as the plaintiff has little control over his addiction. Yeah, honestly, that part's just pretty impressive. 786 female streamers he's following with 0 men. That's a lot of dedication right there. That's a lot of work that you have to put into that. You have to actively avoid seeing any men on the platform and only seeking out women. Like, this guy had to have scrolled to the bottom of every single category just looking for a new woman that he hasn't followed. I'm pretty sure he's followed at least like 50% of every female streamer on that platform. So that is nothing shy of perhaps a Guinness World Record. It's hard to say for sure. It's going to have to be verified. And it was around this part in the lawsuit where I started thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is probably fake, it's probably just a joke. So I decided to do a little investigation of my own and dig a bit deeper into this mysterious soldier of semen squirting, Eric Estavillo. This guy is literally exactly like the robots from our new music video Skynut, the cum-powered robots. Eric is powered by cum. He cannot exist without coming in his pants at least 40 times a day while watching Twitch, allegedly, according to his lawsuit. So by googling his name, I eventually was led to this article from 2009 where he was suing World of Warcraft. He was also engaged in 4 other lawsuits at the time with Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and even 11 years ago, he was known as a serial suer with a ton of bullshit lawsuits. But as you can tell from the title, he made us a promise. He said, you know what, gamers, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go down the path of justice and righteousness now. No longer will I dabble in sin with these terrible fucking awful lawsuits. I'm gonna do the right thing. So after this, I'm gonna give all this money to God because that's what God wants. God came to me in a wet dream and said, Eric, I don't like what you're doing, but if you do win these cases, I want that money personally, and I don't want you ever touching Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo again, you hear me? And Eric said yes. But then fast forward 11 years and look what happened. He's sinning again. You know, he needed his fix. He was scratching his neck. He just needed that fix. He needed it. He needed to sue someone else. So now we're here. He's suing Twitch. Also, it's not like he's been quiet in the last 11 years. He sued other companies as well. He sued Epic Games and shit like that. So he's still been active, but let's read this article from 2009 to get some more insight on him as a character. So here we get a little bit more character development from Eric. That WoW lawsuit, that's my final lawsuit, so people know I'm not suing any more companies. In case you missed it, he's currently engaged in 4 separate lawsuits: Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Activision, Blizzard. 1 lawsuit for each major console market and 1 for the PC, so 4 total. Aside from seeking money, we asked Estavillo what his intentions were behind launching the multiple lawsuits. What I wanted to do was exploit the weaknesses of each console and show that they're not impervious to flaws. I told this to other interviewer and it's true, I actually have no friends. I rely on online gameplay for socialization. So this Sith Lord actually has a very tragic backstory. He admits that he has no friends and the only socialization he gets is through these online games, but he can't help but bite the hand that feeds him by attacking the platforms that are giving him this socialization. It's as though he's more than just a sex addict, he's also a lawsuit addict, and the lawsuits are taking over his life. You know, he only has the friends from online, and yet he's going after the very platforms that's giving him those opportunities to have those friends because he's addicted to lawsuits. It's actually very sad stuff. Now, after reading through the article, I found his YouTube channel where he proudly proclaims that yes, he is the guy who is famous for his terrible lawsuits. And that's when it got even sadder to me. That's when I realized that the reason he's doing these lawsuits truly is just for some attention. He doesn't expect to win any money. He doesn't expect anything in return except for a couple articles written about him and people reaching out to hear from him. This guy apparently has no friends according to the article, and this is really his only outlet for attention and the only way he's able to even have people know his name. He hasn't won any of the lawsuits, obviously. In fact, it hasn't even come close to him winning even a single penny from all of it, so he's doing all of it at a huge loss to him because it's expensive to make shit like this, so he's spending a lot of money just hoping that people will at least know who he is. And I think that's extremely sad. And it doesn't take away from the laughable lawsuit that he has against Twitch, because that's still fucking great. And it's now, knowing this about Eric, I can at least identify that he's just making fun of it. He's just having fun with this lawsuit, making it as crazy as it can be, so people can talk about it and talk about him. And while I still hate the fact that people can just sue people for anything, for any reason, and all kinds of just terrible, awful, garbage fucking lawsuits just get tossed around constantly, it's a plague, I still hate all of that, but I can almost excuse Eric for doing it because it's all he has. It's his whole identity, just being the dumb lawsuit guy against video game companies and shit. It's really sad, but it at least feels self-aware now going back to the lawsuit against Twitch. So now it's time we turn our attention back to the Masturbator's Bible here. Twitch does not limit how many female viewers a customer can follow via their website. And why should they? Like, what the fuck is Twitch gonna do? Hey, excuse me, loser, it looks like you're following 150 female streamers all within the last 2 hours. We're gonna go ahead and put a little block on your account here for about a week where you can't follow more female streamers for at least a week. So stop doing your weird shit, please. Now it continues, but let's just go to the more spicy shit. This is when he starts talking about how the lack of moderation over how many female streamers he can follow and jerk off to has harmed him in the real world. So, A. The plaintiff had purchased a fleshlight previously, which went largely unused, until Twitch. Mr. Estevillo began using this device while he watches female Twitch streamers and often ends up chafing his penis every day with the device, making it extremely painful and constant, which ends up causing redness and mild infections at the tip, since the fleshlight is electrical and also vibrates. Now, you can call Eric a lot of things, but cheap is not one of them. He shelled out the big boy bucks for this kind of Turbo Arcade Edition XL fleshlight here. All the bells and whistles, vibrates. I mean, that's you're getting your money's worth on that. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck in that regard right there. That's a quality fleshlight. The plaintiff, therefore, often has to use Neosporin on his tip to prevent necrosis. Yeah, you know, that probably isn't Twitch's fault that you cannot stop fucking your fleshlight to the point where your penis almost suffers from necrosis. I'm sorry to hit you with the cold water. That's probably not on Twitch. Moving on to the next one. The plaintiff often stays up for hours staring at the breasts of girl streamers, which ends up damaging his retina and making his eyes bloodshot for days. Eye drops do nothing to hide his shame from his parents, and he is often questioned by people he comes in contact with as to why his eyes are so bloodshot and red, which leads to further embarrassment and isolation. Now, this is where it kind of falls apart for me because there's a consistency error here. He states early on that he didn't leave the house. He doesn't go outside except for some very specific tasks where he's not often interacting with people. But in this example here, he's around his parents. He's often questioned by other people, so he is socializing with people outside of the gaming sphere, which goes against everything he was saying before, so it almost seems like this is just some made-up fan fiction at this point. I believe he needed to work on the consistency here, but it is still a good point, I suppose, you know, as far as, like, look how dangerous this is, I can't stop looking at titties. You know, he makes a good point, I suppose, but it does seem pretty fake. And then moving on further to C, the plaintiff once ejaculated on his PC monitor, causing a short circuit and small fire within the electrical system of his gaming rig and causing his apartment to black out temporarily. Yeah, this one, I know for a fact can't be true because I've done that. I've ejaculated on my PC monitor, and you know what didn't happen? A fucking citywide blackout, nothing happened. The monitor didn't go dark or anything, it wasn't ruined. I just wipe it off with a little tissue and I go about my night. Now, unless Eric's cum is just totally different from every other human being's, you know, the pH is totally just fucking absurd. It's changed on a cellular level thanks to the excessive masturbation he experiences to the point where now he's shooting out actual bombs from his penis. I just don't think this is a real story. You know, I don't think Eric's cock is, you know, shooting jizz like Reptile's acid bombs in Mortal Kombat. It's probably not, you know, hitting his computer monitor and blowing that shit up. It's probably just like a little made-up fanfic story here. And now we'll just skip to the last chapter of this beautiful Harry Potter novel, Chapter 7, Request for Relief. Plaintiff respectfully prays for a judgment against defendant for injunctive and immediate cancellation and permanent ban of the female streamers listed above, which is a ton of fucking streamers, by the way. It's pretty much every big female streamer you could even think of, along with any other female or male streamers that violate Twitch's own terms of service in a similar way. Also for the permanent ban of any and all female or male streamers that have not yet been permanently banned for such sexually suggestive content as has been displayed in this lawsuit. 25 million in punitive damages to be split between the plaintiff and the other Twitch Prime Turbo subscribers, with any monies left over to be donated to both COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter charities and funds of the court's choosing. So Eric, you know, wishing you the best of luck in this lawsuit here, but buddy, I don't see it working out for you, but again, that's not Eric's goal. But yeah, I thought this was probably one of the best lawsuits I've ever read. Granted, I haven't read too many, but this one, it's gonna be hard to top this. This is an actual work of art. You know, Eric Estevillo has sued fucking hundreds of companies by this point, I imagine, but this is definitely his magnum opus. This is the best lawsuit he's probably ever cooked up. This one is something special. This is a fucking spicy meatball here. It is a great one. Excellent work with this, Eric. It's not gonna pan out, but I think you've accomplished what you wanted to, so congratulations there, and yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Who is the most influential streamer on Twitch right now? This is an argument that a lot of people like to engage in. It becomes this ferocious debate, and most people usually go to like the top sub-channels or the channels with the most viewers, so you'll have people talking about XQC being the face of Twitch, or Kai Cenat, or Jinxie. However, if you ask me, I think the most influential streamer on Twitch right now is Morgpie. She defines the meta on Twitch. She is the primordial soup from which the meta evolves from. It's like that scene in Prometheus where they have the engineer drink that shit and then it basically seeds life on Earth. That is her to the sexual content community on Twitch. And she is so powerful that the Twitch policy team has to constantly be monitoring her at her mercy, basically. She has the Twitch meta wrapped around her finger when it comes to this niche of content. You probably know her name because she was the pioneer that innovated the topless meta, the implied nudity meta, which went hog wild. This was so big that the Twitch policy team actually had to come forward and make a statement and a guidelines update kind of addressing all of these things. She did receive a ban for it, but like Michael Jordan in his prime, you can't stop Morgpie, you can only hope to contain her. She's actually received 6 bans so far, 4 of which came within a month of each other. There's been 2 in December alone. And she's showing no signs of slowing down. It's like Galactus. She's on a rampage right now, looking for new ways to innovate in the sexual content on Twitch. Now, she also, shortly after being unbanned, engaged in a new emerging meta that also blew up called the censored black bar meta, where streamers would be assumed nude and have black bars over their genitals. And this was another meta for which she participated and helped elevate to new heights. And it got so big that Boogie actually went on stream just completely naked, just stripped down to his bare necessities here, his birthday suit. His explanation for this head-scratching display was that his body self-censors itself. Because his gut hangs down so low, you can't see his wiener or his scrotum or anything like that. His nutsack is fully hidden, so if the black bars on nude streamers are permissible on Twitch, then him being completely naked should be permissible because you can't see anything. He did receive a ban for it, and I believe other streamers that were engaging in this censor bar meta also received a ban for it. But Morgpie has been unbanned again, and she immediately hopped back on the saddle with another wacky idea here. She's like the Jimmy Neutron of sexual content on Twitch, just constantly having these brain blasts for new things to try. And I just have to show you this most recent one because it is just downright comical.
Oh my god. No annoying neighbors.
There is just so much going on here, so many layers to this onion to pick apart. This is like a Rube Goldberg machine of sexual content. I don't even know where to begin. So let's just start with the visuals here. There's so much here in this one frame. Let's focus our attention on the very tiny kiddie pool behind her. The smallest pool that Walmart has ever offered. It's a fucking kiddie pool for ants. It's like 1 foot by 1 foot, and she has like the littlest amount of water in there. Like 2 glasses worth of water in there, basically. But the reason that's there is because Twitch has a policy where you can't be in like a bikini or a bathing suit unless there's a pool in proximity. So that's her way around that so she can get in the hot tubs category. She then also has a mirror positioned behind her so you can see her ass jiggling on the earthquake machine that she's balancing on. I don't exactly know what that device is, the Ass Jiggler 5000. She's going to town on a shake weight, and then she also has a small piece of paper with her Twitch link there, her username, twitch.tv/Morgpie. That's there because she knows these clips go viral on Twitter, so it's easy marketing and easy advertisement, so that way you can immediately see where it comes from.
Reading the signs of my body. I want tonight, no hits don't lie. Not a lumberjack, thank you for the prime.
Consider yourself lucky. We're bearing witness to a once-in-a-generation savant, a genius in the laboratory cooking up a brand new meta right before our eyes. So that's kind of the whole gist of it. Stand on top of the whole body vibrator, shaking the shake weight, and then thanking subs by, you know, getting the thangs thangin'. And that's the idea behind it. This is still brand new, so it hasn't caught fire yet. But we'll see. We'll see if this one catches on the same way the topless and censor bar meta did. But at the end of the day, this really is a Twitch itself problem. They don't crack down on any of this in any meaningful way. They give like a day ban, like a 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour ban for this. And that's not like a really severe punishment. She is one of the fastest growing channels on Twitch because of doing these things. So she's not going to stop. Why would she? It really is a classic case of don't hate the player, hate the game. And the game is, they're not even playing the game. Twitch is just so hands off on all this. They seem to roll back that artistic nudity policy almost immediately and then called it quits. Like, it doesn't seem like this kind of content they want there, because they do keep issuing short bans, but they don't take any real stance and they don't make any statements on it. So why would Mordpie or any of the other streamers stop doing it? It makes them a ton of money. It grows all of their socials wildly fast. And again, if Twitch isn't saying anything or doing anything to stop it, then obviously they're not going to stop providing this content to the platform, because it makes them so much money. Now, I do think Mordpie is going to catch another short ban, but I theorize that she'll be back with another really wild idea, and I am super curious as to what the next meta she tries to bring forth will look like. I'm anticipating the next one has even more bells and whistles. Like, there'll be a 6-camera setup or something, right? And one of them's like an endoscopy cam, so you can actually see her vocal folds when she says thank you to the subs or something. Like, I'm just now very curious as to, like, her think tank that is coming up with these ideas, because this one is so wild to me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, because the Twitch meta when it comes to this kind of content is really going wild over the last month. So I don't know, I found that to be interesting. That's about it. So yeah. When was the last time you heard something about Twitch that wasn't overwhelmingly negative? I can't even remember. It's been so long. Trying to remember a time where the Twitch higher-ups seemed in touch with the community is like trying to remember a dream. Like, it's just extremely hard. How long it's been since Twitch was doing things that people generally liked. For years now, it's just been rolling out features that nobody in the world has ever asked for and that contribute nothing to the platform. Anyone remember just a couple months back when they had their version of Super Chats, where they would take a paid message and then put it underneath the stream where nobody in the world could see it? So you were actually just throwing money into the void, just flushing it down your toilet, basically. God rest the soul of Elevated Chat. I'm sure all 3 people who ever used that feature are still distraught and mourning the loss of such an incredible monetization tool. Like, it is so misguided. Another feature that they've rolled out that I'm sure none of you even knew existed is something called Reacts, where you as a viewer while watching a stream can react to it, and all it does is you can send an emote at that very second you click React to let the streamer know what you thought of that moment, that second. So that way when the streamer goes to their dashboard, they can click on the Reacts and see, like, oh, at minute 55 of my stream, I had 3 pogs. That must have been a really good moment. Like, it's fucking worthless features. It is nothing but horrible decisions from this company. They're making more bad choices than a college student who just took his first shot of Fireball. But unlike the college student, Twitch isn't drunk. They're just stupid. I'm getting heated. Of course, not everyone at Twitch is this silly. Like, not everyone's going wacko mode with these ideas. There are real people at Twitch that understand the platform, but they don't have the same power that the higher-ups do that are rolling out these awful decisions. Why am I talking about this? Well, it's because they've just revealed 2 new awful decisions over the last 24 hours. Now, one of them, admittedly, is not their fault. This comes with the layoffs. I will show you some clips from last night's stream where I really dive in deep on those. But the other one that not a lot of people have realized yet is they also made a statement on their sub-revenue split. You might remember, I also mentioned it recently in another video. Last year, towards the end of the year, Twitch announced that it would be getting rid of the 70-30 sub-revenue deal that they had with streamers. So now it would be 50-50 across the board, 70-30 would no longer exist, which means Twitch now offers the lowest amount of revenue to streamers in the entire industry. They're now at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to sub-splits across the board of every streaming platform, and by a wide margin. YouTube is 70-30. I mean, even Kick is like 90-10, I think, or even 95-5, I don't remember. But they offer the lowest split of subs, and it's not even close. And they really don't have any tools in place to try and make up for that, so instead they double down on ads, which is worse for everyone. Streamers don't like running ads. Viewers don't like watching ads. Thus, you're immediately killing the 2 people that make streaming work, streamers and viewers. You are rolling out things that neither side want. Their Galaxy Brain solution to the taking 20% away from the streamers is to force them to run more ads if they want to make up for that lost revenue. And streamers don't want to do that because that drives away their viewers. That's bad. I mean, sometimes the viewers will come back, but when you run an ad on Twitch, you lose viewers. It's just how it works, because no one wants to sit through fucking 10 unskippable ads, so they'll go somewhere else. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. And this is extremely detrimental because of pre-roll ads that play when you click on a stream for the first time. This is the nail in the coffin for a lot of smaller streamers where even if they're doing really cool content, a lot of people never find it because when they click on that stream and they get fucking 2 back-to-back 30-second ads, they just instantly leave and they'll never go back. So clearly it was a very controversial decision, one that a lot of people took issue with, and now Twitch is saying that we heard everything everyone was saying, it was a very loud conversation, and we laughed at all of you, and we're spitting in your face. We made the right decision, nerds. It's gonna be 50-50 forever. So they're patting each other on the back, slapping their ass, saying, good game out there, team. They are taking their victory lap, letting us all know that 50-50 is here to stay forever, and then try and elaborate on why it's a good thing and how they're going to change their monetization model in order to make Twitch the #1 place to stream when it comes to revenue for streamers. And in the interview they said, we talk a lot about how we're in this together, and part of that is innovation. We are committed to continuing to improve our monetization products and building new monetization products, and at the end of the day, we're committed to increasing the amount of money a streamer earns. Wow, such noble intentions with absolutely no way of delivering. One of the things Twitch is really going buck wild with is their ad incentive program, and here's what they had to say about that. Surprisingly, they did recognize that the intrusiveness of ads on Twitch is a big issue, one that they're trying to work on. So they said the acceptance and engagement on the ad incentive program far exceeded our expectations, so streamers are clearly seeing the value in running ads now. I like how they're saying that like a mark of pride. Streamers aren't happy about that, by the way. It's just that's their only option. In fact, if you go on Twitter and spend even just a couple of seconds typing in the Twitch ad incentive program, you'll see a lot of people outraged at it because a lot of the asks are huge for the ad incentive program, up to like fucking 7 minutes worth of ads. I've seen them. Like, for example, Caleb, Just Joel, streams often. He's shown me his ad incentive program. Rex Gunderson, he's shown me his. Like, the asks are not small. And the pay they're offering isn't huge for smaller streamers. Even in the rare instance where a couple of larger streamers posted their ad incentives where it was a lot of money for like fucking 6 or 7 minutes of ads per hour, they still, most of them chose not to do it because of how intrusive all of the ads were to the viewers. It just makes the experience of watching their stream awful. Having to be inundated with fucking 7 minutes of ads per hour is a lot when it comes to streaming. So a lot of them still just didn't choose to do it. The only reason there is any level of acceptance with the ad incentive program is because you have forced people to swallow this shit. Since there's now no longer a 70-30 deal or anything like that, the amount of sub revenue you can generate is significantly less. In fact, you'd probably make more money buying and reselling eggs right now than you would trying to rely on sub money on Twitch. Now going forward, Minton acknowledged the state of ads on the platform isn't perfect yet, and the company has taken steps to reduce their intrusiveness through static, in-player ads and disabling pre-roll ads if creators display at least 3 minutes of ads per hour. We're really thinking about ad placement generally and ensuring that, as a viewer, when you're looking for a new community, that we're reducing the impact of ads. So they do recognize how it's very bad for small streamers when pre-rolls are playing. And right now their solution is, we'll just play more ads during your stream and we'll get rid of pre-rolls. Like, it's literally Ouroboros, just constantly fucking feeding on ads and eating its own tail. Everything is all about ads, and it's still intrusive. Like, it is still there. Like, pre-rolls will exist unless you are running ads throughout your stream. So, I still also don't understand why skippable ads aren't on the platform when those are pretty commonplace. Like, I feel like skippable ads would at least help alleviate some of the headache there and make the ad breaks a little more palatable. But still, another thing that they mention is like all of their innovative tools they're working on to help creators monetize their content. They don't really shine a bright light on what all of those new innovations are looking like, though I do imagine one of them they're talking about, because they do briefly mention like sponsorship opportunities through streaming on Twitch, and I think what they're talking about there is like something similar to the bounty board. Bounty board is something that's existed on Twitch for quite a few years now. Basically, companies will pay Twitch to have streamers of X amount of viewers stream their product for however many hours, and Twitch will give a portion of that money that the brand is paid to the streamer. I mean, in theory, like, the concept is actually pretty solid, right? if Twitch is going to facilitate brand deals like that and just put it right on your dashboard, that's a pretty decent idea. But most people have woken up to the fact that the deal is shit. Twitch is taking the lion's share of that brand deal, and the streamer is getting very, very little comparatively to what they would get if they just chased down the same deal themselves or with like an agency or something. Like, if you're going to do a stream deal through Twitch, you're better off just clicking on the bounty board to see who's looking for streamers and then reach out to the company yourself, or have your manager or whatever agency you're with reach out to them for you and let them know you're interested, because you'll get a much better rate that way. Because Twitch has taken almost all of it. Like, I don't know many people that still use the bounty board, because most people have realized this now. It is paying significantly less than had you just gotten the deal through any other means. So it's a decent idea in theory if Twitch wasn't taking so much of the brand deal. So I've been ranting about this for a while, but you can see there's a lot of problems that plague Twitch when it comes to streaming on there and trying to make a living off of it, which is why so many streamers are choosing to stream elsewhere. YouTube or Kick really are the two main competitors at the moment that people are switching to or starting with. And it's because you have a much better chance of making a living on those two platforms at the moment. Discoverability on Twitch used to be one of its strongest benefits, but currently, Twitch doesn't really have an edge in that category anymore either, mainly because of what I mentioned earlier, pre-rolls. If you're towards the bottom and someone's willing to take a chance on your content, they click on it and they get a pre-roll, they left. They're most likely not going to stick around for that. Whereas if you started on YouTube or Kick, you just fire up your stream and your content's immediately accessible to anyone who might find it. So yeah, like, you just stand a better chance of getting found elsewhere outside of Twitch at the moment, I would argue at least. So there's a lot of problems plaguing Twitch right now. They've made it very clear that they're not exactly turning the profit they'd like to be turning, and the decisions they're making to try and be more profitable are only hurting their platform even further. So let's talk about the layoffs now. Twitch laid off 400 employees yesterday, and what's crazy is the employees don't even know who got laid off yet. So the employees are still fucking trembling in fear, wondering if they even have a job anymore. But this isn't a Twitch exclusive problem. I'm sure all of you know, all of the big tech businesses, the tech industry as a whole, experienced a lot of bloat over the last few years because of COVID. They hired a lot of people. Now they're firing a lot of those people because they don't need that many employees and they're not utilizing that many employees. Thus, they're making a lot of cuts. Amazon laid off like 9,000 people yesterday. So of course the 400 laid off at Twitch were a part of that. Yeah, we can talk about the Twitch stuff now. I see a lot of people coming after Twitch for the layoff. They laid off 400 staff members. I think it's very interesting that Dan Clancy, the new CEO of Twitch, is the one to make this announcement, as opposed to like a parting gift from Emmett Shear, the previous CEO. That was kind of surprising, because this is not really how you want to start your reign as the Twitch CEO, with 400 jobs taken away. But it's also not their fault. Amazon laid off 9K. So people need to realize that since Twitch is part of Amazon, this is part of the overall Amazon layoffs. I don't think Twitch itself was the one that kind of spearheaded it. Though I will say I think Twitch is a bloated company. I feel like losing 500 staff members isn't necessarily going to change too much about it. But I could be wrong. Maybe these are like really crucial members. But what's kind of fucked up about it is apparently the Twitch staff don't even know who's been fired. It sounds like huge corporate shit. Yeah, that is kind of wild that the employees themselves don't know if they've been laid off or not yet. I feel like they probably should have told them that they're fired before making the announcement. 400 employees fired out of 1,200 is fucking rough. Is that how many Twitch has? Is it 1,200? I don't know why, but I thought it was more. But yeah, I mean, it's not a small number by any means. But I do think Twitch was very bloated. I don't think you needed that many employees to begin with. They're clearly not utilizing them to their full potential. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of features they've rolled out over the last couple years, right? Like, they're clearly not being put to great use over there. But this wasn't like this wasn't explicitly a Twitch decision. This is just the entire tech industry. I don't remember where the source was now, but there's a whole article written up about the collapse of the tech industry jobs right now. I believe they cited that because of COVID, all of these companies panic hired a ton of people because they thought they'd need significantly more employees to like run remote and all of that. So all of these companies really exploded with the amount of people on their payroll over COVID. And now that that's not going on anymore, they just have all of these, like this wild list of employees that they don't use and they don't need anymore. So now they're letting them all go all at once. So it's just this huge exodus. Last night, if you were watching my stream, you got to witness history unfold in front of your smiling face live. And I know that that's a phrase I use pretty often when I'm exaggerating. Usually I'll use it when I'm referring to something that's very trivial, like winning a participation trophy in a chess match or something. But this time I mean it. This is not a boy who cried wolf situation. Last night was a substantial moment in history. I went through all of the Twitch VODs I could find to see if anyone else had ever done this before, and I can't find any evidence of it ever having happened until I did it last night. Unless fucking Count Dooku came in there and scrubbed the Jedi archives, it just has never happened on Twitch. And it was a Magic the Gathering card opening I did last night where I pulled this bad boy. This is a serialized Eldrazi card. It's not really focusing on it, but it's number 221 out of 250, Kozilek the Broken Reality. That number right there, 250, that's how many of this card exist in the world. Magic the Gathering is one of the most popular card games on the planet. They sell millions upon millions upon millions of cards anytime there's a new set, which there is. And of the millions of cards in circulation right now, out in the wild, out in the tall grass, only 250 exist of that card that I pulled, and I have one of those sacred treasures now. Like, that 250 is basically how many nuts I've busted since pulling that last night. Like, I know to a lot of people that doesn't sound crazy, but maybe if I break it down mathematically, you'll start to understand just how rare what I did last night is. Luckily, this Reddit user put on their thinking caps and did some of the math to break it down for us. So, there is 750 serialized cards in the new set Modern Horizons 3. This set is one of the most hyped in all of Magic, so it's likely that it's going to be at or above the best-selling set of all time, which is 280,000 boxes sold. So using these numbers, also to explain the 750, there's 250 serialized Kozileks, and then there's a couple others in the set that also have serialized versions. So popping these numbers into the old calculations here, at 280,000 collector's boxes, that comes out to about 3.4 million packs, meaning to get a serialized Eldrazi, it'd be one in about every 4,500 packs, or 0.0002% chance of pulling a serialized Eldrazi. And at $30 per pack, you're looking at $135,000 you would need to spend to even get in the ballpark of guaranteeing one, which isn't a guarantee. How about them apples? I have opened 7 collector's boxes for Modern Horizons 3, all on stream, and I managed to pull this off right here. So put that in your butt and fuck it. That is extraordinary. But it also leaves me a little sad, because a 0.0002% chance of doing something is such crazy low odds that I would have rather had that luck used for something besides pulling shiny cardboard. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that could have definitely been, like, that RNG could have definitely been spent better. Like, if I was guaranteed an extremely lucky event, I would really rather it not be pulling a cool Magic card. I love collecting and I love playing Magic, but Jesus Christ, the odds of me pulling that were so low, I really wish it had been used somewhere else in my life. But whatever, I'm still super happy with that card, and it's a great memory and a fucking banger stream moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play the raw clip here of when I pulled that bad boy. Trench Post, $1. Shouldn't have looked it up. Spymaster's Vault, we pulled like 5 of these. It was like $1. Primal Prayers, Normal Retro. I can't believe what I'm looking at. I'm fucking stunned. Can you see this on camera right here? Can you see what I'm looking at right here? Can you see this? Someone's gonna need to get Wubby on the hotline right now, because this man's about to come over and suck my cock for what I just got. Can you see this? This is like $2. I got a serialized Eldrazi, a serialized Kozilek. 221 of 250. I actually fucking pulled a serialized Eldrazi. Wait a fucking minute. Wait a second. Someone get the president on the line. This is big. That's actually unreal. That's the first serialized card I've ever seen. A serialized Eldrazi is ballistic. Holy shit. Okay, so for those that don't know, serialized cards mean that there's only this many of this version printed. So I got 221 of 250. Means there's only 250 of these in the fucking world. Usually serialized cards go for thousands, depending on like what number they are. This is a serialized Eldrazi. This shit is fat. Holy shit. Is there a hold on, I gotta check. Is there a single serialized Eldrazi for sale right now that I can look at? That's so fitting, too, that it's a Kozilek. I play the shit out of Kozilek in my Goofy Cyrdan deck. Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. That might actually be worth more than the fucking Demonic Tutor Alpha I pulled. That is an unbelievable hit. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. There might be one. There's got to be one on eBay, right? There's got to be one. There's 220 others that pulled one of these. There's got to be somebody selling through eBay. I need to know what they're going for right now. Okay, right now there is a serialized Kozilek on eBay, number 125, going for 4K. And then there's someone selling number 176. This is the cheapest one, but this one's an auction, so this one's still bidding. It's at 727. Then there is number 141 being sold for 1,000, also an auction. Then there's another number 110 being sold for 1,500, also an auction. All these have bids, by the way. 41 bids for the 1,500. Like, that's crazy. What a fucking pull. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot that I said I'd pull my cock out if I pulled a serialized Eldrazi. So I'm not doing that. Sorry to break it to you. I just thought it was impossible. I did not think there would ever come a day I'd pull a serialized card, let alone a serialized Eldrazi. So you can call me a liar. I'm not going to pull my flaccid meat out. Maybe if you give me some time to like maybe semi-chub, I'll think about it. But flaccid, absolutely not. Hold on. I'm actually shaking. That's the nerdiest shit ever. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that. Yikes. I'm shaking over cardboard. I think of all of the, like, I think the only thing that comes close for on-stream pulls I've ever done is probably when Danny pulled the Gym Heroes Blaine's Charizard on stream. That's like the only thing I think that comes close to my on-stream pulls. Oh my god. And there's still more in the box. How about this? If I get another serialized Eldrazi in this box, I will 100% commit to pulling my wiener out. Can we meet in the middle on that? If I get a second serialized in this box, then I'll do it. Then I will actually do it. Oh, hey, Wubby's here. Number 221. We got the number 221 Kozilek. Rat. Hey. Hey, brother. I'm just telling you. Sometimes you just got the hot hands. I don't know what to, you weren't born with the X factor in you. I'll teach you a thing or two. You know, in fact, watch me do it again. That card was so good, I think I'll have it a second time. You want to see me do it again? 2 serialized, 1 box. Oh my god, wait, this is a crazy pack already. Another Ocelot Pride. Flooded Strand Retro Foil, 50 bucks. This box is crazy. This box is fucking crazy. When you cast this spell up to 2 target players, each manifest 2 cards from their hands. For each card manifested this way, you draw a card. Other colorless creatures you control get +3/+2. And since it's a serialized card, it also comes with the hidden passive that I win the game if I play it. So that'll be fun. That'll be good. There's card shops that have been in business for decades that have never pulled a serialized Eldrazi. It is an incredible feat. Not that it took talent or anything, it's not like I did anything special, I just got lucky. But it's just such a rare occurrence that the vast majority of people and places will never pull a serialized card no matter how many boxes they get because they are that hard to come by. So it really is a special moment in Twitch history. I don't think I missed anything. Like, I don't think it's been done before on Twitch. Not that I've seen. But even if it has, then I want to shake that person's hand as well, because that shit is unreal. Like, it's so crazy to actually pull that. So I just had to talk about this. The full opening, the full card opening, I think I'm going to just post on the Skill Check channel or on Moist Charlie clips. I haven't decided which one yet. Probably Skill Check, because we've been doing so much Magic content. Like, we have another big Commander game coming out this week. So I'll probably post it there. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah. I couldn't think of a great title for this video, so it ended up sounding a little more intense than I planned for it to be, but make no mistake, it's still going to be a high-octane video that's going to blow your hair back. I am saying goodbye to Twitch, but not fully in the way that you think. It's not like a funeral service for the Moist Critical Twitch channel. That would be the saddest way of going out ever, because the last broadcast on there is from last night, and it is some of the most despicably trash Warlock gameplay Dark and Darker has ever seen. Having that cursed footage be the last thing broadcast on my Twitch channel before retiring it would be more embarrassing than if my dick pics leaked. So, pop a squat by the fireplace and let me explain. My Twitch contract has been terminated amicably between myself and Twitch, and a huge thanks to Twitch for being so willing to do that, because I did still have a lot of time remaining on my Twitch contract, but I wanted to be able to have flexibility to stream elsewhere, and Twitch fully understood and gave me that firm pat on the ass and said, "You go get 'em, champ." So, I am no longer exclusive with Twitch. Now, this isn't me announcing that I've signed somewhere else with like a contract. This isn't like a LeBron James The Decision moment where I'm coming up here and saying, I'm taking my talent, well, for me, I'm taking my lack of talent to Mixer. It's nothing like that. This is just simply me saying Twitch was nice enough to turn our contract into toilet paper, which is what I wanted, because I really like the idea of not being forced into one place. I'd like to be able to spread my fucking butterfly wings and be able to try different things on different platforms. So it means a lot that Twitch was willing to, you know, terminate that contract, because under that contract, I couldn't. But now the dog's off the leash. I could rip my shirt off, twirl it over my head like a helicopter blade, and start streaming on Facebook if I wanted to. If I was a crazy person. I'm not doing that. Never happening. But I could, is the point. Now, one thing that I've been pretty vocal about is I do think streaming contracts are a great thing, not only for streamers, but for the audience as well. Because I really do like the idea that you can just watch streams for free. You never need to turn on donations. You never need anyone to pay with subs or anything like that. There'd be no expectation or some feeling of obligation to pay for the streaming content you're watching, because you'd know the streamer is getting some kind of hourly rate or some kind of contract with the platform they're on. I just think that's fucking fantastic and should be the future, because me streaming a game shouldn't be something that's paywalled or inundated with ads out the wazoo. It should be something you could just flip on, completely free to watch, and have nothing else to do but kick back and have fun. Streamers not having to rely on donations, I think, is just a great win-win across the board, because unfortunately, there are times where someone gives more money than they should to someone that is financially far better off than they are, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance of the streaming landscape that I think could be improved if contracts were more normalized in the streaming space. And this is going to sound a little weird because I just terminated my Twitch contract, yet I'm talking about how good contracts can be for streaming. So this is where I'm just going to be totally open and honest. All the money I make from streaming goes into our esports organization, Moist Esports. And if you know anything about esports, you'd know it's an absolute bonfire for money. It is actually just flushing money down a toilet forever without ever seeing any return. It's why so many of these orgs go completely defunct. It is just bleeding money until there is nothing left to bleed, and then it's tears. That's just the landscape of esports, but we're in esports because we're passionate about it. I fucking love the esports scene. I really do. So all the money I've made over the last 2 years from streaming has all gone into Moist Esports, and that will continue to be the case going forward. And with the Twitch contract, if you ask anyone who's currently under Twitch contracts, you'll know, they'll tell you, it is the lowest possible offer across any of the other streaming platforms that have ever offered contracts. It's about 1/10 of what the rest of the industry was offering streamers. Now, I'm pretty sure Twitch put the kibosh on offering contracts in general, but when they were, it was a pretty large ask from the streamer in terms of hours broadcast per month, as well as ad density. There was always an ad expectation. Of course, there was wiggle room in terms of how many ads you'd play per hour, but there was always that expectation, which, as I've said many times, I think is not conducive to a good viewer experience because of how poorly ads are implemented on the platform. I think the ads are way too intrusive, and there's a lot of room for improvement there. So the contract was very strict, and the payment from the contract was not enough to even cover a single one of the Moist Esports teams. So we all just kind of felt like this contract isn't really doing anything except making the streams worse because of having to pump ads into them, and it just didn't make sense anymore. And we wanted to try new content, but we couldn't really get excited about Twitch as a platform because not only that, the platform's kind of been making some horrible decisions over the last couple of years. I do think they're starting to get a little bit better. Like, I think they're starting to get it a bit more, but not much. Like, I'm hoping they'll correct course here and steer the ship a bit better, but it's just been hard to get passionate about Twitch, and I'm sure a lot of other streamers have felt the same way. I've seen quite a few of them say similar things. But again, the primary motivation has just been that flexibility, not being locked down by the Twitch contract, which had the very strict exclusivity clause where you couldn't stream anywhere else, and I don't think there would have ever been an exception where they'd let us stream elsewhere. And it's something I've wanted to do different type of content in different places. Most notably, like YouTube streaming, I think would be a very fun place to try some of our newer, bigger projects on, as opposed to being forced to do them on Twitch. Which is nice because I've been wanting to try different things on YouTube streaming in particular. I know that's not the most shocking platform switch ever, considering I actively post videos on this platform already, but I really feel like the streaming side of here is just a totally different beast. And if we have any octogenarians in the audience right now, many of you might remember that I actually did used to stream on YouTube back in 2017. I streamed on here for about a year, and then in 2018 I made the switch back to Twitch, and I've been exclusive on there since 2018. That platform's always been my home for streaming, and it brings a tear to my eye thinking back on it. Not many people know this. This is deep cut Charles lore here, but I used to stream on Twitch way before it was Twitch. Back in 2010, I was an active streamer on Justin TV, which would eventually become Twitch. And boy howdy, let me tell you, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, the streams I did on Justin TV should never be unearthed. They were rancid looking. They are unwatchably hard to digest what is even happening on screen. The shit I was broadcasting looked like a Sasquatch photo. It was extremely blurry. It looked like you were trying to remember a dream. It was the lowest possible bitrate, the lowest possible FPS. The audio was incomprehensible. It sounded like 3 walkie-talkies underwater while torpedoes were blowing up around them. It was terrible. It looked like something out of The Ring. I bet everyone that accidentally tuned into one of my Justin TV streams thought they were gonna die in 7 days. And I used to stream fucking horrific World at War Zombies gameplay. Let me show you one of the surviving archives of a clip from it.
Shit, I'm the last one. Critical. We can do... Oh, shit. Shit. 2 seconds! No! Ah! Ah! Split the defense! Split the defense! Hustle play! Hold on, I gotta talk on the mic to just hear this. Who's spraying fire on me? Oh, Jesus! I just took on the world zombies population, and that one almost took me out.
That, my friends, is the old glory days of streaming, the golden era. That's what it used to look like back in ancient times. I'm actually at the point where I feel like the grandpa from Rugrats, Lou Pickles, where he'd tell a story like, we had to hike 15 miles up a hill in the snow just in order to get a single fucking thing of smelling salts. Like, that's how I feel. That's how we used to broadcast our streams on Justin TV. Well, I guess not everyone. Angry Video Game Nerd back then used to have a 24/7 Justin TV stream going on, and it was pretty good quality. But a lot of us were streaming like that. So, I'm getting a bit off track. Just going down memory lane with Twitch. I have been on there for a very long time. I did take a break in 2011, but I've always considered Twitch my home for streaming, so I don't plan on leaving home. Think of this as, we're no longer married. Now we're just friends with benefits, I guess. We're not monogamous. I do still plan on streaming on Twitch, and I think I always will. But I will also be streaming elsewhere too, most notably YouTube. I'm going to do my first YouTube stream tonight, probably around like 9:30 EST. Actually, probably closer to 10 p.m. EST, because I still need to eat dinner. So let's just say around 10 p.m. EST tonight, I'll go live on YouTube. And what I eventually want to do is be able to do different content on different platforms for streaming. So, for example, the Moist Wrestling League, we have our next taping next week. I do eventually want to take the Moist Wrestling League live, and I would love to be able to do it live on YouTube, because I think it would just go so fucking hard on YouTube. I like a lot of the features YouTube has over Twitch. The ability to just go back in a stream, just rewind it like native in the player, I think is great. I think the chat functionality is so fucking primitive, it is weak right now. Ludwig has Truffle to help with that, but the actual built-in YouTube streaming chat is trash, and it needs a complete overhaul. But I really do just love the idea of being able to do different projects in different places. Another thing is Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to be doing our own Dungeons & Dragons show, not like in an official capacity partnership with Wizards or anything. It's just our own silly campaign that we're putting a lot of resources into to make like really high quality, because we've been obsessed with Critical Role in Dimension 20 recently, and we just thought it'd be so fun to have our own wacky D&D adventure show that we would love to take live. And I think YouTube would be another great streaming platform for that content. But that's long term. Right now, there's not going to be a huge difference in content between YouTube streams and Twitch streams. Like tonight, I plan on speedrunning. I don't know if I'm going to try learning the Golem speedrun or the Jedi Survivor speedrun. The Jedi Survivor speedrun looks super hype, and I think it'd be a fun one to learn. But I also love the idea of speedrunning Golem, the worst game of the year so far. So we'll see. But yeah, it's kind of like the overall big plan, big picture now, with no longer being exclusive to Twitch. I will, of course, still be streaming on Twitch. Like, I'll probably do more Dark and Darker on Twitch, you know, tomorrow. Or maybe I'll do Dark and Darker tomorrow on YouTube as well. Like, that's the fun of it. I now have the flexibility to choose which platform I go live on, and eventually I would love to be able to have different content live in different places. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, and also say a big thank you to Twitch for even letting me do this, because like I said, I did still have a lot of time left on that contract, but we came to an amicable decision to just say, hey, it's all good. So that's super nice of them, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to do some wacky stuff. Just wanted to talk about all this. That's about it. So yeah.